Right now at noon, a proposed biogas facility in Ottawa County draws concerns from residents and environmental organizations.
And it is bitterly cold across the area. Temperatures, despite this sunshine, not doing a lot of warming, but they will eventually get warmer. Look at that forecast, it's coming up.
Plus, the regional Better Business Bureau warns online daters about romance scams.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. New at noon today, a head-on collision in Newton County, Missouri claims the life of one man. The crash happened this morning just after 7 a.m. west of Missouri 86 on Norway Road. A Jeep traveling west on Missouri 86 went to pass traffic. The Jeep then struck a Toyota Prius in the oncoming lane head-on. The driver of the Jeep, an adult male, died at the scene. Next of kin have been notified. An explosion draws first responders to a house in Chanute. The report came in early yesterday afternoon to the Chanute Fire Department. Emergency crews dispatched to the 600 block of West 16th for a report of a structure fire with a possible explosion. The state fire marshal was called to investigate. We'll have more information as it develops on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, it's very cold outside. It was very cold this morning, and as I've told you today, it's not going to be much warmer by lunch hour, and it is not much warmer, but it's sunny. It's like I said this morning too. It's those ads where they say, you know, bitterly cold temps, now with extra sunshine. Well, that's just about all we've got, but it is still quite cold. Looks good, though, from our camera downtown Pittsburgh, also from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline. Thankfully, we're not dealing with those same gusty winds we saw over the weekend, because that would be bad. Now, we started yesterday at 5 and made it up to 22, so it's below our normal high, our normal low is where our high was. However, this is a point of interest. In 1985, we reached a record low of 12 below. In 1986, just a year later, we reached a record high approaching 80 degrees. That just shows how much things bounce around here in the 4 states. We're sitting at 13 in Joplin right now, 11 in Pittsburgh. We've got the teens. Now, the good news is, at least, these temperatures right on track for where they're supposed to be, into the teens out there. Unfortunately, it does mean our wind chills are anywhere from 0 to 10 above. We got slightly better wind chills in some locations out there. Now, these south winds are going to start to increase as we go overnight, but that also brings in that slightly warmer air, so our temperatures kind of level out. We're going to be reaching our overnight lows fairly early this evening. We will be a little warmer tomorrow. We're still going to be windy. We'll go over all of that with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks. Well, love might soon be in the air for some. Others will use Valentine's Day as an excuse to steal more than someone's heart. The Better Business Bureau wants to warn people ahead of the holiday that scammers use online dating and social media to take advantage of people looking for love. The BB says always be aware of red flags.
So a couple of very common red flags that consumers tell BBB about are folks who are, well, too hot to be true. I say a lot with online shopping. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And the same thing applies to dating online. Also, someone who's in a hurry to get off the dating platform and they can't meet. Either they can't or they won't. There's some reason they can't meet you in person.
We have more information on how to protect yourself on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The company hopes to create a facility using chicken waste to produce a methane-based gas in Ottawa County. The possibility is drawing concerns from residents and environmental groups. The co-founder of the company hoping to build the facility flew in and met with KOAM's Samantha Walker. He explains what the facility would be like and addresses some of the concerns.
Argo Development Partners is a small U.S. company hoping to build a facility in Ottawa County that would create products using chicken litter. They plan to bring in over 160,000 tons of litter from local farmers a year.
Basically mix it with water, do a biological process where we convert carbon and nitrogen into 3 products, and all 3 of those products are really agricultural products that are renewable natural gas, liquid fertilizer, and solid fertilizer.
Walker says the company looked at sites in Arkansas and Missouri, but ultimately chose Ottawa County in Oklahoma because of its access to the natural gas pipeline and the proximity to farmers with chicken litter.
There's a very significant pipeline that runs right across the side of site, so our material won't have to leave site, so we'll generate it on site and it will immediately go into the pipeline.
The community isn't necessarily welcoming the facility.
I just think that won't be good for us. And who will want to breathe this?
The smell is just one concern. Lead Agency Inc., an environmental group out of Miami, says the site could prove harmful to the community.
You see the entire area downwind of this facility is in either the 90th to 95th percentile for the orange, or in the 95th to 100th percentile in the red for asthma.
Walker says the facility is being designed with air quality and odor in mind.
You can drive up and you don't smell it until you open the door. I mean, once you open the door, it smells like it smells like a poultry operation. But until you open the door to the facility, it really does not smell.
Not only is LEED concerned about air pollution, but the potential for groundwater contamination. Walker says they're keeping safety and storage in mind, such as using secondary containment for anything stored in the tank.
A lot of litter will be on like concrete pads, right? So we'll have it in an engineered solution where we're not going to have a lot of runoff.
Brent Rendell owns the land where the facility will go and is leasing it to Argo. He says he originally shared some of the same concerns.
Will it smell? What are you going to do to keep the waste products where they're supposed to be and not where they're not supposed to be? And what sort of an impact will this have on the environment?
Rendell adds the facility could prove good for farmers and for the environment.
If you look at what this system replaces, it's actually reducing the emissions.
Residents say they just want to protect their homes.
You want a clean place, you want a safe place to live, and that's what we had for many, many years. And we don't want to see that change.
The facility's open air permit is in the public comment phase with the DEQ. Lead Agency Inc. is encouraging residents to come forward with whatever questions or concerns they have.
Not a complaint to your neighbor, but a comment to the only agency right now that can stop it, and that's the DEQ.
Reporting in Ottawa County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Ottawa County residents are encouraged to submit public comments to the state DEQ by January 22nd. You can find a link to that and more information on the proposed facility at KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, President Donald Trump officially returns to the Oval as the United States' 47th president. We'll take a look. And later, we're making crazy good rosemary chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. It's President Trump's first full day of a second term in office. Jared Hill reports on the record number of executive actions the president has signed.
President Donald Trump attended a prayer service at the National Cathedral Tuesday, one day after claiming divine intervention is why he survived an assassination attempt last summer.
I was saved by God to make America great again.
Shortly after taking the oath of office, the 47th president signed a record number of executive actions.
This is January 6th.
He also issued broad pardons and commutations for defendants who attacked the Capitol on January 6th, even those convicted of attacking law enforcement. When asked why, Trump made baseless claims the FBI played a role in instigating the attack.
There were outside agitators involved, and obviously the FBI was involved.
Michael Fanone is a former D.C. police officer who was attacked at the Capitol.
I can assure you that these individuals will go on to commit acts of violence, maybe even commit acts of violence against me or members of my family.
Trump issued a host of executive actions on his first day in office, including pulling the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accords and making an effort to end birthright citizenship, even though it's a constitutional right. He also halted a law requiring TikTok to break from its Chinese-based parent company.
The U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok.
And he designated drug cartels as terrorist organizations.
I, Marco Rubio, do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear.
Tuesday morning, Vice President J.D. Vance swore in former Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, the first Trump cabinet pick to start his new job. Jared Hill, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And with the inauguration of President Donald Trump, the nation will face some new rules and policies. From immigration to abortion rights to the future of LGBTQ plus protections, the 47th president has already made his stance clear on a number of these topics. While some people support these positions, others oppose them.
I hope doesn't happen the most is I hope that he doesn't do his mass deportation plans. It's 1 in 4 people, I believe, know somebody that is here undocumented. And there's so many mixed community households that people's families are going to be split up even more, even though he said we can deport all of them. Some of those people are naturalized U.S. citizens. They were born here.
Other folks we talked to say they hope for good business prospects and that senior citizens are well taken care of. And still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Kelly loves the dish we're making today so much, she told me if she ever had to choose a last meal, this would be it. Join us to see what it is.
And even though it is bitterly cold across the area, we are talking a slight warm-up. Details when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So it's cold outside, which is why until the show is over, I haven't set foot outdoors. And if you don't have to, really, you probably shouldn't, because it is bitterly cold still out there, even though it looks nice. Let's take a look at how nice it does look. This is our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Got some work going on there at the old Arvest Bank building on, what is that, about 3rd and Broadway. Outside of that, the skies are clear and it is extraordinarily cold. In fact, we looked at the temperatures earlier. We're still in the low teens with wind chills, at least on the positive side. Even though some were at 0, we're not below 0, which is good. Sunshine will prevail through the afternoon. Eventually, we'll make upper teens and low to mid 20s for most of us. With that southwest wind, though, even though it's not going to be that strong through most of the day, it's still going to be enough to make it feel much colder. Now, overnight, those winds will shift out of the south. They'll increase as well. Clouds will thicken up a bit overnight. And yes, there could be a flurry or two. I think the overall chances are extraordinarily low, but the future track is running just a very quick band of flurries through the area overnight tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be windy, but if you also noticed, and I back it up because I didn't point it out to those of you who are just joining us. So we're going to go real quick back to Tuesday, today at 5. Take a look at the temperatures. Find your hometown or the next closest marker. Watch these temperatures from 5 p.m. Tuesday to 5 a.m. tomorrow. They don't really move much, do they? That's the benefit of these south winds. Yes, they're going to make it feel colder, but they're bringing in slightly warmer air. And with that, since we're going to start tomorrow 20-something degrees warmer than where we started today, it means we're going to be a little warmer tomorrow. That's still cold, but it's going to be slightly better. So we're going to low mid 30s, even some upper 30s out there as we head into our Wednesday afternoon with some partly to mostly cloudy skies. So varying back and forth. Winds shift out of the west in the afternoon on Wednesday. They're still gusting about 30 miles an hour, unfortunately, so it still will feel cold. That slightly warmer weather continues into our Thursday. However, see a few more clouds and an opportunity for a snow flurry or snow shower here or there. Otherwise, it's just going to be pretty chilly again, but worry not. Warmer weather continues to be on the way. So we're going to talk about that. So low 20s again for most of us today, some upper teens, southwest breeze 5 to 10, sunny skies. Into tonight, clouds increase. Upper teens for our lows. Remember, I think somewhere, depending on where you are exactly, but somewhere between 5 and 8 p.m., we're going to reach these lows, and they're just going to stay there overnight until we get into tomorrow. South winds, though, increasing, gusting upwards of 30. West winds by tomorrow afternoon, still gusting to 30. Look at that. That's a nice-looking number. It's a better number than 9. Okay, so we're talking upper 30s, maybe even a couple of low 40s for our highs tomorrow. We get beyond that. Again, we're going to be a little cooler on Thursday. Again, isolated flurry or light snow shower, nothing major. 40 by Friday, near 50 by Saturday. And we get cold again, or at least chilly again. But the nice thing is after today, we're going to stay slightly warmer. Still not bad average, but slightly warmer. Keeping an eye on that wintry mix for Sunday. There's still a few days away, but it is something we'll monitor for you. After that, though, we head into next week. It takes a couple of days, but we look to warm back up, maybe even above normal toward the end of next week. So just got to get through today and tonight, and things are going to get at least a little better for us.
All right. We definitely need it.
We do. It's been too cold.
It has. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making crazy good rosemary chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Today, Howard is making crazy good rosemary chicken in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Recently, we came up with a twist on a fancy restaurant favorite that's super simple, it's packed with flavor, and is one of Kelly's favorites. With all that it has going for it, I can't wait to show it to you. Since most chicken breasts in the market are pretty thick, for the dish we're making today, we want to either pound them until they're about a ½ inch thick, or cut them in half horizontally. To make sure every bite is juicy and flavorful, we poke them all over with a fork before soaking them in a homemade lemon rosemary olive oil marinade. When they're done marinating, we dredge them in flour and saute them until they're golden and cooked through. Then we'll take them out of the pan, add a bit more oil, and saute some onions. Once these are tender, we add a bit of lemon juice, some white wine, and a little Dijon mustard. And when you serve these tender as can be chicken breasts, topped with the sauce, you'll know exactly why this is one of Kelly's all-time favorites. So don't wait another minute. Hop on our website and look for what we call crazy good rosemary chicken. We promise you won't be disappointed. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found Kelly's and soon to be your favorite way to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4 state market prices.
All right, so again, very cold today. Chilly tonight, gusty winds will make it feel colder, but a little warmer tomorrow. A couple of flurries possible Thursday. Nicer Friday, even nicer Saturday. We're watching Sunday for a wintry mix. Chilly again, and then maybe even above normal by next week. We'll make it. We'll get there, but boy, it's going to feel pretty before we get there.
That's one way to put it.
Meteorological term.
Sure. Thanks, Chris. And Don, what do you have for us later on?
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, a first-of-its-kind report shows tens of millions of people could die from infections resistant to antibiotics over the next 2 decades. Older Americans tend to have more than one disease, like diabetes, heart disease, or cancer, that puts them at greater risk for antibiotic resistance. Plus, Scotty College in Nevada, Missouri launches a free tuition program called Dream Big, Stay Close for local students. And Joplin residents prepare and train for Missouri Arts Advocacy Week at the Cornell Complex. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dow. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.